Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name is Rob. Joining us is Dave.
Hello.
This, Dave, is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition on PS5.
It's finally happened.
A very exciting time. This is out now on PS5. I've been playing it. It looks wonderful. This video, as you can probably see from the title, is just 14 minutes of The Witcher 3 looking incredible on PS5. I've been capturing this on performance mode, which runs at 60 frames per second, beautifully smooth. But if you want, you can opt for ray tracing mode, which has ray tracing and a bunch of other visual effects and targets 30 frames per second. But really, it's an excuse for us to look at The Witcher 3 running on PS5 and to go, ooh, and ah, and that's what we're going to do, Dave.
Yeah, we don't really often need a lot of encouragement to go ooh and ah at The Witcher 3 at the best of times, but an update... and let's say, Rob, it's a free update. If you already own The Witcher 3 on PS4,
absolutely, yes,
this update is free for you. If you don't, then you can, of course, buy the game. And a free update to drop. It's got loads and loads of like kind of improvements over the PS4 version in terms of features.
It's just amazing. Like, look, I love a dirty lens, Dave.
Yeah,
and they've done the dirty lens thing there. You've got the light. There's something about the quality of the light. It's just a bit richer, a bit denser, it feels on this PS5 version. We're standing atop a hill in the Skellige Isles right now. This is what I like to do with Geralt, Dave. I like to put him on the top of a mountain and pretend that he's like doing training in isolation. This is my Geralt training. But look at that buttery smooth 60 frames per second as he pirouettes with his blade skillfully.
It's worth saying that Nath had a little go on this earlier, and he fancied that Geralt is a bit more sprightly in his movement as well. He moves genuinely like may have slightly adjusted his movement speed a little bit, and also there are loads of lovely little PS5 things like when you're riding on Roach, you get the clip-clop coming out of your dual sense.
I felt that the haptic feedback on Roach's hooves
feedback as well
coming through. It's everything is just wonderful. It's an amazing game anyway.
Yeah. And
I'm really tempted, Dave, to just play the whole thing all over again now. It's been long enough, I think, that I can dive in almost fresh. Look at the light there.
Yeah, it's a glaring omission in my gaming sort of backlog, really, or not an omission in my backlog, but I've probably played about 30 or 40 hours of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on PS4. I have not been to the Skellige Isles, so I'm thinking this is the time. It's come out, in the depths of winter here in the UK. It's soon going to be the holidays.
Look how Christmassy that is. That's perfect to play at Christmas, Dave.
And it's probably time I'm going to be starting again and getting it done this time because, it's the perfect opportunity. I do agree about the dirty lens, Rob. I would love to know the history of the dirty lens. When did it first...
Who was the first filmmaker to implement the dirty lens technique?
I feel like, it was something people tried to eradicate for years and years and years. Oh, God, there's a bit of speck of something on the lens there. And then someone else was like, no, wait.
It looks cool. Especially when you pair it with incredible lighting like this. I just go up here and I meditate. And when you meditate, you choose what time of day it is, effectively. You can meditate until the evening. I just come up here and I meditate until sunset and I just watch the sunset. And this is another one of my favourite things to do, Dave, is just to travel around the Skellige Isles by boat. Yeah. Because look at those waves and look at those mountains.
The mountains actually look absolutely fantastic there. There's something about the sort of parallax speed of going quite slowly past a mountain and seeing its topography change from the boat, which is very, very pleasing.
It's the quality of the light. I don't know if I'm sure you have, like when sunlight hits a mountain, there's something weirdly otherworldly about it. It's almost like it brings it to life. And The Witcher 3, more than any other game, I think, nails that sort of majestic nature of mountains. Like you feel like you're sailing past these, like they're almost alive and watching.
Certainly in the presence of something. There's a sort of a knowledge there that it's hard to put your finger on. It's quite scary.
And this, so we're away from the Skellige Isles now. We're in the countryside in Velen, and there's something about the world of The Witcher 3. It's I mean, it's beautiful, but there's a haunting bleakness to it as well. Like, it's a war-ravaged land.
Yeah.
And it's really evocative and atmospheric and a bit muddy and a bit dirty. And there's... I cannot get enough of just riding slowly through it, through the mud. It's such a wonderfully therapeutic experience.
I mean, that's when you know you're having a good time, I think, with any RPG, any open world, when you're not rushing through it, when you're not just like pelting past, all these beautifully designed parts of the world. When you're taking your time, that's when you know you're onto something special. Is this Novigrad now?
Yeah, it's Novigrad. I had to put a bit of Novigrad in. I like this little urchin here, just on the shore, chucking rocks into the. There's so many characterful side characters. Like all of the NPCs that walk around, they've got so much life to them. They've got so much personality to them, and I think that's one of the things that helps make the world of The Witcher 3 feel so alive. Like, especially walking through the streets in Novigrad, which we'll see in a minute, just the conversations you overhear, the actions that the NPCs are doing, they feel like actual people.
Yeah, it's something that's always spoken about is the NPCs. Like, the kind of plethora of West Country accents, all kinds of accents, a whole ton of swearing, but in a way that people just do swear, like real people in the real world. It all feels very real, and it really this is obviously like a fantasy world, a fantasy landscape, but it's very grounded in things that we all know and accept. Wow, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, Novigrad's amazing. For me, it's as someone who in my childhood spent a lot of time reading fantasy literature. This is exactly the type of town I imagined. From so many of those books, and it feels amazing. Like, you go inside all the taverns and you go past all the merchants and you listen to the guard. Look, they're so full of life. It's such a bustling place, Novigrad. I walk around here for ages as well. I mean, I love the mountains, I love the lakes, I love the big open vistas, but like the cramped bustling nature of Novigrad is amazing, and the architecture as well. Like, they've nailed it. Every aspect of this world is incredible.
I think the nature side of things is beautiful, but this is where you kind of have to, in cities and towns, is where you have to put your stamp on, like, what is this world? What are the people like? What is the civilization? What's their culture? It's in this architecture, but again, like we were saying, it's in the NPCs. It's the way they speak to each other, the things they speak about. There is, as you said, it's a war-torn land. It's bleak, but there's also lots of life. The characters are very vivid.
Yes.
And full of life, despite the kind of hardships and everything. And it's just you get a wonderful sense of place from walking around there. Not just because it looks great and because of the architecture and the design, but just again because of all the people, all the voices, just giving you little snippets all the time about what this world is about.
This is my favourite area of Novigrad now that we're coming into, the docks. And we're coming into the docks at sunset.
The ship's looming out the fog.
Like, you can smell the fishy smell that would definitely be there.
It definitely would be there.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it, Dave. Look at the mud.
Yeah.
I love the mud, and I will never get bored of walking into the sunset and having those rays just dance around my sword.
Which one? Well, both swords. I was going to say the advantage of having two swords is that we really get to see the god rays, or I guess then the opposite of god rays, the shadow from them. But that mud does look really. It's really slick. It's really picked up by the sun now, and the little flock of birds as well. That's so good. You'd see them dancing on the wind.
Dangerously, there's a photo mode included with the PS5 version, Dave.
Well, this is something I was bringing up at the start. Really, is there are some little extra bits and pieces as well with this update. It's not just graphical. It's not just that it can now be played on PS5 natively. There are also a few improvements. It's worth saying that as well that this is a kind of a cross-save title, or rather your PS4 saves can be imported to the PS5 version.
We've booted up Nathan's save here. This is classic image, a tree with loads of corpses on it.
Yeah.
But there's something, I feel like this, I had to put a bit of the bleakness in. The hangman's tree in the middle of the night with the moonlight bathing the landscape. And the music as well, like everything combines to create this really sort of haunted atmosphere. We're at Kaer Morhen now, Dave, which is sort of your stereotypical beautiful mountain lake area, very alpine. And I love this lake. I love just boating across its glassy surface and looking at the mountains on either side. It's amazing.
Well, in my game, I hadn't actually got back to Kaer Morhen yet, so it's where you start at the very beginning of the game. I think there are a couple of flashbacks there, but it hadn't been a place I could visit again in my game as yet. So this is all kind of new to me, this lake and these mountains.
It's so vast.
The scale is insane.
Yeah.
Like the sense of scale, which you get a lot from just like from the density of the air. You know, you can see the distance by the way the light is affected on the mountain. Like, it's massive. This is an absolutely insanely big world.
It is. It is.
And it's packed.
We did ages ago. We did like a crossing the world of The Witcher 3 in real time in a video. I can't remember how long it took. It took a long time.
I completely forgot that we did that.
Amazing. It was amazing. Again, you could smell the pine in the air.
Oh God, is that a bear?
So yeah, this is like Bear Town. Right. It's like you can see 4. I can see.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
But
yeah.
they've set up shop next to this really beautiful bit of water. So I had to brave the bears to capture this.
It was worth it.
It was.
I think.
Yeah.
I assume you don't get horribly mauled at the end of
I
this
might
capture.
have done, but I've cut away.
Okay.
So
wonderful.
we're further up the path now, and this is one of my favourite waterfalls in the game. There's a small ford here that you can walk across. Water graphics as well, I should mention. Probably in my top 10.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention it earlier because I didn't want to get you going, but they look insane.
They're still really, really amazing even now. Yes, absolutely love this little bit. And again, just the lighting on the mountains there, on the cloud, and it gives really gives that sense of depth to everything.
It's worth saying that this is the complete edition. So there's also the Heart of Stone DLC and Blood and Wine DLC.
Yes.
Those areas are also included in this.
It's so much game.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's so much game, and when you consider that The Witcher 3's been, it's been on sale many times in the past for not a lot of money, and so if you do already own the Witcher 3 on PS4, like, you get the PS5 upgrade at no extra cost. It's, it feels like a brand new game to me, Dave.
Yeah, I was just thinking then, like, if I was just watching this, having never played The Witcher, never heard of it, and someone just said, "Oh, this is new RPG coming out," I could absolutely believe that. Like, it looks completely up to date. I think the environment is vast. Maybe just goes to show how ahead of its time The Witcher 3 was on PS4, because it really was fantastic. It was groundbreaking at the time. And it still holds up.
It's I think quite rightly regarded as one of the greatest RPGs ever made now. I mean, it received amazing acclaim when it came out, but I think in the years that have passed since, everyone has sort of really come to terms with just how good this game is. It's a phenomenal game. And if you haven't played it before, my God, what a treat. What a treat you are in for. Just experience this. If you're experiencing it for the first time on PS5, I'm very jealous. I'm going to be diving in, I think, over Christmas, Dave. I can't resist. Give us a like if you found this video useful, and don't forget to click that notification bell if you haven't already done so you're always up to date with all of our videos on everything PlayStation.
PlayStation